So the year 2020 has been pretty strange for the world of gaming, where you would think these companies would come out guns blazing with new information. It's just been kind of a barren wasteland of stuff going on with these video game companies. Of course, Sony and Microsoft have new consoles releasing at the end of the year, but details have been pretty scant for these things. Nintendo, the company that's of course promoting the Nintendo Switch in the year 2020, hasn't done a Nintendo Direct yet, and many people are wondering, well, where are these first-party Nintendo games that we're going to be playing in the year? So in today's video, I kind of want to highlight two different things going on in the world of video games. First is the rise of the PlayStation 4. Yes, the PlayStation 4 in 2020, because the first half of 2020 is very stacked when it comes to PlayStation 4 stuff. And then on the flip side, I want to talk about the Nintendo Direct situation, talk about the latest rumors with it, and just talk about what people have been saying about a Nintendo Direct in general. What's up, guys? I'm RGT85. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's talk about the PS4, let's talk about Nintendo Directs in this video. So I'm gonna keep it real with you. When it comes to the PlayStation 4, I really don't give it quite as much love as I do something like my Nintendo Switch or my Xbox One S. When it comes to things like multi-platform releases, I always find myself playing them on either the Xbox One S or the Nintendo Switch instead of picking them up on the PS4. When it comes to the PS4, this console generation, it's really been about exclusives for that system, and I've really enjoyed a whole variety of exclusives that have come to the system. But recently, I just even haven't turned on my PlayStation 4 or checked out what was going on. But obviously, that changed because of two things. Of course, the first thing being the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, of course, everyone and their mother gave their opinions on the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo that released on the PlayStation Store, and I picked it up, I checked it out, I really enjoyed it. I didn't get around to playing it till much later in the day though, so I figured by the time I did a video on it, no one would really care. So I ended up doing some basic impressions over on the Facebook page. So if you haven't liked the Facebook page, go ahead and like that Facebook page while you're at it. And you know what? Also like my Instagram page too, because I'm trying to build that up, because Instagram is just crazy to me. Like, you can get sponsor deals for literally taking a picture with like a bag of Totino's pizza rolls or something and get a lot of money for it. So I'm trying to build up that Instagram page. We're going to be doing some fun stuff over there, so go ahead and like that too. I got to get some of them Instagram models liking my pictures too, so let's build up that Instagram page. But really, I was very impressed with the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo, and then of course I ended up picking up Dreams because I saw a lot of fun stuff on it, and I've really been enjoying Dreams as well. But when you look at what is happening with the PlayStation 4 in 2020, they're quietly having the most impressive first half of 2020 that I've seen in quite a while, and that of course is exemplified by something that happened today. The game Ghost of Tsushima, which a lot of people were wondering, was this actually going to be a PS4 game or was it going to be moved to the PS5, actually got a concrete release date. That game will be coming out now on June 26th exclusively for the PlayStation 4. So when you look at the lineup of games coming exclusively as either console exclusives, timed exclusives, or whatnot to the PlayStation 4 in the first half of 2020, it's very, very impressive. Of course, in April, we have the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like I said, I absolutely love this. Camera was a little bit wonky, but everything else was just absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this game. I love the updated gameplay mechanics. And also in April, we have Predator, which is a game that I'm honestly really looking forward to. I am a huge fan of the Friday the 13th game, of course, and it is being done by the same people doing Friday the 13th. It has that same sort of gameplay style where some people play as humans and one person plays as the Predator, but there's going to be NPCs on the map as well. I think this game could end up being a really big hit and sort of have that same sort of cult following that something like Friday the 13th ended up having. So I'm really looking forward to that game in the month of April. So right then and there, that's two bangers that I have to buy for my PlayStation 4. Looking at the month of May, you have another game that is some people's most anticipated game of this console generation, that of course being The Last of Us 2. And everything we've seen from The Last of Us 2 just looks absolutely insane. Like, I'm so interested to see how they're going to expand upon this story. I think The Last of Us really laid down the groundwork as a very awesome game, and this game is going to sort of supersede that, I think, in every way, shape, and form that we have come to expect from the sort of Last of Us gameplay. I'm so interested to see how they're expanding upon this. They're obviously expanding upon the world that you're in as well. I think it's going to be an absolutely crazy game, and once again, that is another PlayStation 4 console exclusive game that you will be playing in the month of May. And now in June, we have the Ghost of Tsushima coming out on January 26th, which is yet another exclusive game for the PlayStation 4. And once again, everything everything we've seen from this game looks super promising. It was a game that many people thought, myself included, would probably be moved to the PS5 because of the graphical fidelity being used in this game, but somehow, some way, it's coming to the PlayStation 4. So right there, you have 4 major titles that are console exclusives for the PlayStation 4 that you can't play on anything else. That's not even including all of the crazy third-party games that are going to be coming out in the next few months for the PlayStation 4. Games like, of course, Doom Eternal, Resident Evil 3. So somehow, some way, Sony is now positioning themselves to be the dominant console in the first half of 2020 with this absolutely stellar lineup. And it's absolutely crazy to think about because in my mind, that would be the one company that you wouldn't expect to be the dominant brand. You would expect Nintendo to be the dominant brand because, of course, Sony is looking forward to the future of the PlayStation 5 that is allegedly coming out in holiday 2020. So now we're going to sort of shift gears though, because I've obviously alluded to the Nintendo Switch in 2020, and like I said at the start of this video, all 3 companies have been keeping things secretive when it comes to their 2020 plans. Obviously, Sony has a lot riding on the first half of 2020 with the PlayStation 4, and that's where they're putting all their time, efforts, and focuses into, and they're not talking about the PlayStation 5 yet. Now, on the flip side, Xbox has, of course, talked about the Xbox Series X. We know how many teraflops it has and stuff like that, but really, we still don't know much about the games. We, of course, saw Hellblade 2 running on the Xbox Series X and some in-game footage that was obviously using in-game textures, but it wasn't really gameplay footage. But really, their biggest mystery has to be Halo Infinite. This game is supposed to be coming out in the holiday of 2020 as well, yet we haven't really seen much at all from this game. So that really, to me, that's sort of Microsoft's biggest secret. They're talking about the hardware, but they're not really talking about the software quite yet. And a game like Halo Infinite would be a game that I would expect them to talk about. And then you have Nintendo. Nintendo has no new hardware coming out in 2020. So you would expect them to talk about games in 2020, and well, it just hasn't been quite like that. Now, obviously, I thought there was going to be a Nintendo Direct in the month of January. What better way to start out the year than talking about your upcoming games that are coming out in 2020 for the Nintendo Switch? And Nintendo didn't do one in January, and it really caught me by surprise. Then, of course, we had the month of February, and once again, still no Nintendo Direct. And a lot of people are getting a bit antsy when it comes to the Nintendo Direct stuff. Now, obviously, I am somewhat antsy when it comes to the Nintendo Direct because I would like to see new stuff coming to us from Nintendo. I don't necessarily care how they convey this information, if they want to just drop some trailers on YouTube or do some press releases, but I want to see what is coming to us from Nintendo in the year of 2020. And the fact that they're not sort of capitalizing on the quiet start of the year is just kind of puzzling to me. Now, of course, there have been tons of Nintendo Direct rumors. There's actually a couple Nintendo Direct rumors floating around out there right now, but it's almost like a broken clock is right twice a day. You know, if I sat here and said, there's a Nintendo Direct coming this month, and I did that every month for 12 months, I would be right at least 2 times in the year. Now, 2 of the newest rumors going around with the Nintendo Direct is that Nintendo updated their YouTube account for the Nintendo Direct playlist on March 4th. Okay, like maybe they just activated that playlist for March 4th, like that's not really a big deal, but hey, you know, maybe connect the dots with that. And of course, the other rumor going around has to do with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, of course, we have gotten a Smash Bros. And a Pokemon Direct in 2020 so far, so if you're fans of those games or series, you did get some sort of stuff from Nintendo, not really as far as new upcoming games or anything like that, unless you want to count Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which, no, I'm not sold on that game. I'm just not interested in that game whatsoever. But one of the things going on right now, like I said, has to do with the Smash Bros. Fighters Pass. So long story short, what's basically going on with the Smash Bros. Rumor is the fact that Nintendo of Japan is actually going to be selling Smash Bros. DLC Volume 2 cards for people starting on March 23rd. So you can pick up this little physical card. It almost looks like a Smash Bros. Invitation, and that is sort of your season pass for the upcoming stuff when it comes to the new characters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, people are saying because it's releasing on March 23rd that they might announce a new character before then. Of course, Byleth was announced for Smash Bros. In the month of January, so people are feeling that, you know, 2 months of separation is enough time to announce a new character, and they could do it in either a Nintendo Direct or yet another Smash Brothers Direct. But it's kind of like, well, maybe that's just the day they sort of picked. Obviously, Sakurai is very busy doing these new characters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. A lot of people are looking forward to seeing who these characters are going to be. This DLC pack will, of course, conclude at the end of 2021, but I really don't think there's any sort of correlation between this date and, of course, a Nintendo Direct Direct coming up. Obviously, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct soon. I think all of us know that, and it could potentially be this month, in the month of March, but it's just kind of like at the point where you just got to take it when it comes to you. There's no point in trying to speculate on things like this because Nintendo obviously has some sort of reasoning for waiting so long to do a Nintendo Direct, and that's sort of what I'm realizing. Yes, I would love to have these new announcements. Yes, I absolutely love all the trolling that people are doing on Twitter. Like, take a look at this video. This video has me absolutely cracking up. And yes, at the end of the day, I do not understand why Nintendo hasn't been more aggressive in the year of 2020 when you're trying to, of course, keep people interested in your system, when you're looking at things like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X launching this later on this year. But at the end of the day, Nintendo, I guess, knows what they're doing. I mean, they've been the longest running company in the world of video games. They obviously have a reason for not talking about things quite yet. And whenever this Nintendo Direct comes, I think it's going to be an absolute banger. I think we're going to learn about so much stuff, and of course I'll do a predictions video, but I am definitely waiting for them to actually announce the Nintendo Direct before we start talking about predictions. I want an actual concrete release date because honestly it's just not fun trying to piece together all these rumors. At the end of the day, Nintendo is going to do what they want to do. They're going to do it on their own time. You might not understand it, I might not understand it, but at the end of the day, Nintendo understands it, and I guess that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Alright, so those are my thoughts on some of the things happening in the world of video games right now that I just found interesting. So let me know in the comments section down below what you think of the PlayStation 4's lineup for the first half of 2020. Are you excited for any of these? Are you going to be picking up any of these games? And what do you think about Nintendo with how they're handling the Nintendo Direct, the longest gap and longest time frame that we've seen in the modern Nintendo era from when Nintendo Directs were coming up, and sort of what you expect to see during this Nintendo Direct, I guess whenever it's going to happen. And as always guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Be sure to check out other videos on the channel. Like I said, be sure to follow the Facebook page and the Instagram page so that I can pose with bags of Totino's pizza rolls and get like free pizza rolls and get paid to do it, because that would be really cool. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.